This came to me this morning, and I was thinking, how did we get to a place where a lot of people forgot how to create their own light? And how do we get to a place to, bring it back? So, my name's Ben, everyone. And when going through this, we're thinking about light as in fulfillment. And when we look at it, uh, we're normal interaction is seeking some sort of validation or reassurance. And, obviously at a young age, and then through most of our life, society and culture and everything has shown socializing and interaction as a normal thing, which it should be. But somewhere along that line, we began to need it to be fulfilled in some way. This goes along with being like lonely. What is needed when we're lonely? If you're lonely, what are you seeking? Is it someone to validate your feelings if you're going through a hard time? Is it, interaction? Is it physical touch? Is it something to pass time because we're bored? What do we need that's out there that's not here, that we feel that's not here? What is out there? And it gets to a point that you start to get this like pull, you can feel it inside, and you might want to claw at the wall, like you need something so bad. This could, take you back to old addictions, old people, anything to try to fulfill this void. And what is this void? And it, in our mind, you can only see it that it can only be fulfilled in the external or from the external. It needs to come from outside of us for us to be fulfilled. And like I said, from a young age, this began of a hierarchy of being liked and not liked, or exiled or rejected, and then led to self-esteem issues or self-image issues, which then would spiral into, you know, our body being acceptable, and then us rejecting our body, even if we got to a good enough place that, say, we were in terrible shambles, and we got to a place that we made ourselves presentable in our mind, but it still wasn't good enough. And you keep chasing that. If we look at the always need of having someone there, codependency, this doesn't just have to be romantic, it's just somebody there. And then we get into the need for feeling validation. This is so much, so many different ways we can look at it. Feeling safe, feeling loved. Is love based upon these things that are superficial? They're not real. But is that the only way we can feel loved? Everybody's situation is going to be different. You know, if somebody answers the phone, does that make me feel loved? Even though they might not care about us, or they may just want something from us. Is feeling loved, I don't know how social media really works, but people liking pictures. If you posted one and, oh, well, I felt loved. But was I, presenting myself in a false light to get that love? So then that love isn't going to fulfill me at all. It's this huge press to have everything external fulfill us, which means we can't generate our own light, our own love, if that's the case, because we need it external. So how do we get back to being internal, to not needing that reassurance or acceptance, or whatever it may be for anyone? And that light is special to you. And the funniest thing is, it just came to me that uh like how people might say, hey, you've got great qualities, or and these qualities aren't things that you see because someone else sees it differently. It's the exact same way as, like, we think that we need all this stuff external because we can't see our own light, because it's us. you know it's that whole thing, like, our voice sounds different on camera versus how it sounds in our head, because we're used to only seeing it this way. Same idea that we're only used to seeing this love or reassurance externally. We've never seen it internally because we never tried. We don't know what that looks like. We don't know what it sounds like, what it feels like. We need to come back because we've forgotten. You know, we were raised from a young age to be dependent on your mother. And then, for care and food and all those things. And then it just grew from there. So having to come back, which wouldn't be easy, of course, because we don't know. Is this right? Is this not right? It doesn't really matter what's right. It matters what you feel. So coming back to a place to learn your own love. What does your love look like to you? What does your reassurance look like to you? What does acceptance look like to you, from you? These are things that obviously only someone that wants to win the game would look into. Otherwise, we just stick with what's normal. But getting to that point to actually want to dig in there and say, okay, what's in the way? What do I need to shift around? What do I really need to correct my mind to see that I'm not seeing now? It doesn't mean push it all the negative away and make it go all the way. It is looking, accepting, and coming back to that place that we probably don't remember. We've probably never really been there before. But there is a lot in there. And we might have to look a little harder because, like I said, we don't know what it looks like. We don't know what it feels like. We don't know what it smells like, whatever. But I'm really trying to stress is that everything is placed on the external for this fulfillment, and we'll never find it if we don't find it in here first. So with that, have a great day, everyone.